mentioned earlier. Oh, and coming up, by the way, Rand Paul. Rand Paul has done something that no other Republican has done. He has turned the abortion issue around on the Democrats, specifically on Debbie Blabbermouth Schultz. And I am going to be having the evidence up in there for you in mere moments. Much as we know. Okay, let me take a little time out here. When I come back, I mentioned at the top of this hour that Rand Paul has actually done something that I don't think it may have happened. I don't think an elected Republican has done. I don't think an elected Republican has actually turned the tables on the issue of abortion against a Democrat. Now, I know that all kinds of so-called conservative act, like Phyllis Schlafly is superb on this when she gets in debates with these leftists. Don't misunderstand. But I'm talking elected officials who normally run from this issue. You remember what this is about. Rand Paul's up there after he's announced, and so what do you think about abortion? And he turned it, you go ask Debbie Schultz. You go at Debbie Wasserman Schultz if she thinks it's okay to murder a 7-month-old fetus in the uterus. You ask her that. And they did. They went and asked her that, and she stepped in it. Back after this. Okay, so Rand Paul goes out there and announces. And then he starts his media tour. And we chronicled how this began. He's mean to women. It was the official changeover from the race wars to the gender wars. It was the official media revival of the war on women. Just like Stephanopoulos got the war on women going by asking Mitt Romney about contraception when nobody was talking about it. Nobody had cared about it. It wasn't even an issue anywhere on the horizon. Kept badgering Romney. Romney finally answered it. Voila, didn't matter what the answer was. We've got a war on women. Republicans hate women, blah, blah, blah. Okay, then that was a brief interruption in the overall race wars. Everybody's racist because they criticize Obama and so forth. But now it's Hillary's turn. She's next up, so the gender wars are back. And so Rand Paul refused to accept the premise of Savannah Guthrie and a couple of questions, and they started, you're mean to women. You don't like women. You really mistreat women reporters. And the gender wars are back. And they asked him in this whole process a question regarding restrictions on abortion procedures and whether or not the Republicans accept or favor exceptions to late-term abortion bans in extreme cases. And Rand Paul, rather than fall for the trick of accepting the premise, turned tables on him and told the reporters to go ask Debbie Blabbermouth Schultz if the Democrat Party favors no restrictions at all, not just late term, but at all. And you go ask Debbie Blabbermouth Schultz if she would support the murder of a 7-pound baby in utero. And amazingly, the reporters went to Debbie Blabbermouth Schultz and carried the challenge. And she stepped in it. She said, I don't care. No exemptions. No, anytime a woman wants an abortion, it's her right. Government has no right to be involved. Whenever a woman wants an abortion, that's fine. And then she realized that she had stepped in it and started trying to walk some of that back. And she went on CNN Wolf Blitzer trying to walk it back. Let's go to the audio sound bites on this. First up, Debbie Blabbermouth Schultz last night on the Kelly File. Megyn Kelly said, you and Rand Paul have had this dust up about abortion. He keeps saying, ask Debbie Blabbermouth Schultz when life begins. When does she believe life begins? Can you answer that question, Ms. Blabbermouth Schultz? When does life begin for you?
The question that he was asked and that he's trying to deflect from by pushing it on me is, does he support exceptions to his opposition to a woman's right to make her own choices? I give you that point. I see the point. And he has not been explicit on it. But I'm wondering about you, because I have you tonight. So from my perspective, from my party's perspective, we do not support rolling back the protection that the constitutional right to make your own reproductive choices established in Roe versus Wade has given to women.
Okay, so Megyn Kelly says 80% of the public is against an abortion in a third trimester. and almost 65% are against an abortion in the second trimester. So people are divided on this. He's trying to get to the Democrats' position on at what point is it appropriate to say that it isn't just between a woman and her doctor, that there's a third life involved here, and it's the baby. At what point does that baby have life? Is it ever have life before it's born? What do you think, Blabbermouth?
What is appropriate from our perspective, I'll speak for myself, but I think I can speak for most in my party, a woman's right to make her own decisions about her body should be between her and her doctor. And there is a Supreme Court decision, though, that answers those questions for us.
But that Supreme Court decision, Casey, says the state has a say, and the state can set limits. The state has a right to step in on behalf of the fetus and say at some point that fetus does obtain rights. You would admit that you can't have women aborting third trimester babies just on a whim, right? I mean, so you agree there's some limits.
Certainly not on a whim, but when a doctor...
That's what he's trying to get at.
See, that's what he's trying to get at. You can't just on a whim. But she did try to get on a whim, whatever a woman wants. And see, that's not the majority position of people in the country. That's all Rand Paul was trying to do, was get her to admit that they are so far out of the mainstream on this. And she knew she was snookered. From the moment that the press came asking a question and she gave her first answer. So she's been trying to walk it back and go everywhere she can. She just keeps stepping in it. And so I've not, now I could be wrong, but I don't know of, by the way, when I say I don't know of another Republican who's turned the tables, like, that's not an endorsement of Rand Paul. I'm not endorsing anybody. I'm just observing here. Maybe somebody else has. If your favorite candidate's Ted Cruz and he's embarrassed a Democrat, fine. If your favorite candidate's Scott Walker and he's embarrassed a Democrat, fine. I just have not seen it happen in this way.